Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for choosing to spend a few minutes with us today. We're going to be discussing one of the most important chapters in Berserk and what it means for the manga going forward.
Does free will actually exist? Or does Guts have to face his own destiny at some point in this series? Berserk is a series filled with different predictions and prophecies. It becomes very difficult, however, to understand these predictions until certain events unfold.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. For example, one thing that we keep going back to is when the Skull Knight told Guts what Casca wants may not be what Guts wants. Now, I mean, we could go all crazy with our thought processes and hypotheses and everything about what the outcome might be, but without certain events actually taking place, I mean, it's all conjecture, you know, at that point.
We believe that chapter 331 is one of the most important chapters in the Berserk series. The chapter title is Shooting Star, and we believe that this chapter shows us several key plot points that will play a major role later on in the series. Many issues and possible outcomes facing Guts, and one page in particular stood out the most.
It's an omen. Each time you wear that armor and fight as the Berserker, light, voice, warmth, you will come to lose many things. The odd that dwells in that armor is as a flame which never dies out. Even once contained, the coals yet smolder. Given the chance, it will explode into hellfire. Even with an applied talisman, never make light of it. If you wish to continue existing as human, that is.
So, it's funny how this chapter was laid out, because first we saw the Skull Knight talking about the Berserker armor and the possibility of it taking Guts over if given the chance. Previous to this chapter, there was a point where the demon dog, or the beast of darkness, however you want to call it, told Guts that it sees what's going on and it will go and hide. It will wait and it will bide its time. And once it sees that it's given a chance, it will come out and take him over completely.
I mean, I think as we have already discussed in previous videos, which we're going to link one here where we said that we believe that the Skull Knight used to be the original wearer of the armor. Skull Knight is pretty well versed on the characteristics of the armor, right, the nature of the armor,
right,
given that he used to wear the armor. And so this to me is like straight up saying, hey Guts, you know, that's a bad idea. It
right,
pretty much is a very bad idea. But here's the irony in all of this. Skull Knight was the one who told Flora to deliver the armor to Guts.
Right. And that's the first step of his premonition for Guts. It's kind of like he's like, okay, Guts is going against his destiny, right? He is known as a struggler. He fights against destiny. But it still seems that destiny is coming to pass around him. The events of the eclipse is an example of this. Also, Griffith being reborn into the world, that's a next example. And now we're seeing the events unfold with Casca attaining her heart and her mind back.
And guys, let's not forget that the non-humans, well, you know, the members of the God Hand, and I think Skull Knight as well, which we've seen in the past, they are aware of causality. They have a degree of knowledge into how things are going to play out in the future. So all of these cute little warnings that Skull Knight is giving to Guts is because he actually knows a bit about the future.
Casca's mind went to pieces because of the events before. What will happen when she gets her sanity back?
Yeah, and this is another big piece of foreshadowing right here, because we have talked in our previous video, which we're linking right here, about how we feel that Casca's been given a quote-unquote rebirth. Just like Femto, you know, the heart that was put into her didn't look pure. I mean,
no, it looked tawny and broken.
Yeah, it contained the miasma, some of the miasma from the realm that they were in. And so we believe that Casca is not going to emerge as the Casca that we once knew. Now, there might be a trigger. She might be like a Trojan horse, you know. Oh. We think, oh yeah, Casca's good, Casca's back, and then boom, Casca's not back.
And what we saw on the following page after that, it drives the theory we have even further, because we saw that the demon dog is right behind Guts as he's holding his face, thinking about the possibility that Casca coming back What if she doesn't get her sanity, right? And oh my goodness. Look.
In the video before this, The Shadow, you talked about Guts not having his own rebirth.
Right.
And in the manga, we have seen the demon dog talking to Guts and telling him, "Hey, I'm gonna take over you. I'm gonna take all of you, pretty much." And so, I mean, it's crazy to think that Guts is going to probably be permanently affixed in the armor, or possibly have some kind of possession.
So this is our theory, right? And look, it's going to get dark. Guts, this entire series it's been shown to struggle against emotion, struggle against bad things that happen to him, right? He is the struggler. He fights against all adversity and all odds. But what would happen if Guts just got fed up and gave into his rage, gave into his human emotions? Because that's what Berserk is about this one man who's a hero, he's an anti-hero, and despite what's happening around him, he keeps moving forward.
And you know what's the most important thing? Guts is the one who has fuel for the fire. He is the one that is in the best position to bring the destruction that the members of the God Hand want. Because remember that the demon dog is fed by rage, by pain, by negative emotion. And there is nobody else that has overcome as much sadness and pain than Guts.
So something we're also thinking about is like the odd that resides in the armor. What is it exactly? Is it just this energy, or is it something else, something that was ancient, something that has been trapped for some period of time?
Well, I believe so, because I mean it's the same thing that, I mean, the Skull Knight, remember he went nuts as Berserk, like we talked about, and several people have mentioned in the comments.
So we looked at the idea of evil as being this heart, like being talking to Griffith in that elusive chapter. But what if the heart with the thorns is actually the key to releasing the idea of evil? What if you mean the one that was put in Casca? Yes.
Yes.
You have this pure of heart being, because I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. Guts is actually probably one of the most compassionate protagonists I've ever seen, because despite everything that's happened to him, he is a relatively nice guy. You think about it, he was raped. Like, his best friend betrayed him. He saw the love raped in front of him. All these bad things happened to him, but yet he still seems to be a nice character. Now, the one thing that matters to Guts the most is Casca. Just imagine Casca being taken away from him, and he's like, I did all this just to lose the only thing that matters to me.
Yeah.
Life is not fair. Imagine that being enraged.
Yeah, that is like Super Saiyan times whatever.
Right.
Even more fuel for the demon dog, because
Right.
it feeds on that kind of rage and pain. And let's not forget the Moonlight Child.
Everything in this chapter is talking about all these key pieces. They talk about the Moonlight Child, they talk about the Berserker armor, they talk about
The Eclipse.
They talk about, you see Guts, Griffith, and Casca in this one chapter. So it is telling you what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to add this, because I'm kind of trying to figure out, and guys, I want you to leave your comments down below. What do you think is the role that the Moonlight Child is going to play? Because one thing that they were discussing in that chapter also is that the odd of the Moonlight Child doesn't seem to be malevolent. They likened it to the odd of one of the fairies. So, I mean, I have absolutely no idea where they're going to go with him.
Right.
But what do you think?
Yeah, and also what we're seeing too is like, we have to look at Berserk in this type of like, what's really going on. Guts was, you know, we're looking at Griffith as Griffith is the one who had to be in the eclipse to cause everything. But what if it was meant so that Guts was there to be exposed to true evil? Because Guts is this being, right? And after that, that's when he first got this demon in him that's
true. Exactly.
Against.
Okay, yeah. So what if it is, I get what you're saying. What if we're focusing on Griffith as the bad guy and thinking, oh my gosh, Griffith is this terrible guy, when behind the scenes they've been shaping Guts. Guts is the true harbinger of death and destruction. Little did we know.
Right.
They made us fall in love with him, right?
Yes. And think about it, right? the ideal being of hate and evil doesn't necessarily have to come from something that is filled with hate and evil.
Yeah.
But it could be filled with the utmost love.
Yeah, that's true. Look how many movies or books or whatever that we've read about virgins being sacrificed, virgins being used as hosts for demons or whatever to carry out different kind of rituals and stuff like that.
Right. So you have this character who fights against all odds, and he struggles against his destiny, so to speak, to be brought down by his true love and to fall into total darkness.
Yeah.
Becoming the true Hawk of Darkness, or in this case, the true idea of evil.
That's crazy, guys. So, I mean, that's the theory for today. Don't forget to hit us with your comments down below and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Of course, let us know what you think. Give us a like, because hey, you might as well. And don't forget to stop by our channel often, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe right now. What are you waiting for? And over and out.